At the stroke of midnight, we make a video. I pulled Lauren out of bed and I said, we got to make a video immediately. There's way too much going on. I need your input. I need your legalese. You'll have to forgive my voice is shot as Francisco Alvarez hit a bottom of the ninth game-winning home run at Citi Field. So that was a big moment in our lives tonight. Before we start, there's a lot going on. I need to address it because it's eating at me a little bit. So I dragged Lauren in, and we have to do her little disclaimer that all of this is just her opinion. And even though she is admitted to the New York Bar Association, this is her opinion. It is not legal advice. She is not giving anyone legal advice. It's just how she feels in the moment about this specific situation. There's no bearing legally anywhere.
And not admitted to the Florida bar.
Not admitted to the Florida bar.
And none of my opinions are reflective of the opinions of anybody in the legal community I work with or for.
Or maybe sometimes not even in this house right now.
Correct.
Okay. And what goes on in Florida law may differ from what goes on in New York law.
Correct.
Okay, so we wanted to get a different view on this, so we actually got a very old and dear friend of Lauren's on the phone this evening, who is a former assistant district attorney, a prosecutor in New York City. We're not giving any information about that person because they don't want that. But we spent probably half hour, 45 minutes maybe on the phone with them this evening to get their views on this whole thing. So, today, I know there's a lot of stuff going around right now. Jennifer was on the stand today for what we kind of all believe. And when I say all, the three of us, me, Lauren, and her pal, she dodged the subpoena the other day, right? We all assume that's what happened. So once you dodge the subpoena, then what happens is one of two things. A bench warrant is issued, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or
a contempt order.
A contempt order is issued. One of those two things. One of those two things dragged her in today. Because if she didn't show up for the subpoena, she wouldn't show up unless she was forced to, right?
Typically, yes.
Okay. So now she's in there on what we assume is Lauren has told me to make sure to use words like probably, assume, probably, maybe, possibly. She's got me really towing the line. She's got me towing the line on those words. So she gets on the stand and flip-flops again, which all it does is just make her a less credible witness.
Correct.
So now it's on the record. She's on the stand. It's on the record, which you say can be used down the road in other causes.
Right. So her testimony was likely under oath, and two things can happen. Her testimony could be used down the road to impeach her credibility in other cases, or if in fact, based on her testimony here, she's adjudicated to be a uncredible witness, that also carries through to subsequent trials and can be pulled in to if she's ever gonna testify again.
So now the other day you said really trials are completely separate entities.
They are.
But now you're saying that her credibility being a problem in this trial can lead to her credibility being a problem down the road.
Right. So each trial is a new trial. That's true. And each time she is anticipated to be a witness, the defense or the prosecution can try and use her. But any testimony you give in prior proceedings can be brought in if your testimony in the current proceeding conflicts with something you've said under oath on the same topic. And so it can be brought in to what we call in New York impeaching a witness, which I presume is going to be the same thing in evidence down in Florida, or if there is an actual finding that she's not a credible witness, that's on the record, and that could come in. So it's like two different things, really.
Okay. Okay. So that was that. That was the first thing. We're gonna get back to that a little bit. I want to get to some of what Lauren's friends said about this real issue, which doesn't seem to be an issue in Florida, but they said that somewhere along the line, it's probable that somebody asked for Judge Karsten's recusal. She said it would be hard not to, right?
Correct.
And you can ask for a recusal on the record verbally or in writing.
Right, by notice of motion.
So in your history with judges you've worked for, it's been done in both ways, right?
Yes.
And your judge will give a reason.
Yes.
Why they can or why they can't.
Correct.
So what Judge Karstens would have had to have said at some point is, no, I can be impartial because, and we're surmising, I'm surmising, it's Brooklyn again, surmising, is that no, we disbanded our law partnership before Jeremy came on board. So Jeremy was never part of the Amir Karstens unity.
Right, that's probably the grounds he cited. I would say likely.
Okay, but Lauren said to me before, Jeremy's not the problem in that issue. Amir's the problem in that issue. And I said, yeah, but I don't think anyone thinks it's really Jeremy. Everyone knows it's really Amir is the problem with Karstens. But then as I'm saying it out loud, that makes it just more egregious that Amir's the problem. It's nothing to do with Jeremy. It's any client that Amir would have. We're just looking at it as Jeremy. But really, there should be no instance where Amir can stand in front of Judge Karstens.
Maybe.
They were partners. They weren't buddies. They didn't ride the train together. They were partners.
How long ago was...
I think it was like 8 years ago.
So at some point, there may be a long enough...
almost like a statute of limitations?
Period of time where they can say, okay, they haven't had any business interaction for... And I have no idea what it would be in Florida, but let's say, for argument's sake, if you haven't been partners in 5 years, then you can now go before that judge. It might be something like that. There might have been some sort of judicial ethics opinion in Florida that says, it's 3 years, it's 5 years, it's, and he might be outside that window.
Okay. The other thing I wanted to get with Lauren's ADA friend, did I talk about the separating the charges before? No. So she said that idea that I brought up the other day about the separating the charges, you have one case number, CF 22222. My voice is going so bad. To take one, you have 8 charges. To take one and try and adjudicate it is absurd. She said in New York would never, ever happen. You just wouldn't allow it. And that's kind of what I said the other day. And then she kind of...
Mm-hmm. She kind of reiterated that. She thought...
Substantiated, I think is the word I was looking for. So there's weird, wacky stuff going on. All right. Now, the last thing I want to discuss, which... listen, we're all reporting, right? Josh is reporting, PT's reporting, Fraudy's reporting, I'm reporting. Those are really only the 4 people you should care about reporting. But anyway, Don't care about anybody else reporting. No, there's that one chick. What is? She's pretty good. I like her. She sounds like me when she does her. What is the name of that? It's like it stops here or something like that. She's pretty good. I'll post a link. No, she's. I like her. You can look at her stuff too. Don't look at anybody else's stuff. But we're all getting information from the same source. It seems like. I'm not there because I'm missing these first days. Because the first days are so chaotic. You never know if it's going to go down or not. So I'm missing these first days. And something like this happened today on the first day. I don't think we're getting good information. I think we're getting information from one source, and I have a couple of problems with the source. Number one, the source is being paid. So if I'm being paid for something, right? Somebody on my page keeps mentioning Donald Trump. I don't know who that is, but whatever. Donald Trump was on trial because he said his building was worth more than it actually is. That's the crux of it. He was trying to get loans, and he said his building was worth more than it is. No, that building's not worth $1 million. It's worth $20 million. But fun fact, we all do that, right? When we buy a house, we want it to appraise for as high as possible. We all do it. We're all guilty of it. I've done it. It's not illegal until you say you're defrauding the bank, but the bank's in on it too. So I want my stuff to be worth more than it is, especially if I'm getting paid for it, right? So if I'm getting paid for information, it's going to be some pretty salacious information. I don't ask for anybody to pay me because I'm just happy to bring it to you. I'm happy to be part of the community. I like this topic, so I'm in. If I wanted to get paid, which I do sometimes, but I get paid, guess where? At my job. I go to work, and then I get paid, and then I do this as a hobby. So if you're paying somebody for information, and you're not there to check the information or authenticate the information may not be good. And it's, once again, as I've used this term countless times, it's fruit of the poisonous tree. And I know, that's a legal term, you can't use that. No, I can. She would tell me if I couldn't. I can. I just don't think the information's good. And then I don't think the information is being
I don't think that the person reporting it has the background to understand and appreciate what's happening, to be able to accurately report what's going on in the courtroom.
Yeah, and I think there's emotion in there. Sometimes I see people in the courtroom reporting with me, and I just won't stop writing. You guys know, you've seen my 8 pages of notes. I just keep writing. But I see other people, they write 3 things and then they run out of the courtroom. And I'm like, when you ran out of the courtroom, you missed all sorts of nonsense that went on. And I just don't like it. I don't want somebody who can manipulate stuff based on the fact whether they're getting paid or not. I don't think it's cool.
And you have someone to talk it over with in the community, in the legal community.
Yeah. So I think no matter how good the person is who's getting the report, right? If it's me or it's PT or it's Josh or it's Fraudy, those guys are awesome at what they do. But if they pick a rotten apple up off the ground, it's still going to taste bad. They didn't get to pick that apple off the tree. I would love to see PT in the courtroom and then him reporting it the way he sees it. Like, to me, that'd be awesome. Or Josh or Fraudy, because I know they know what to look for and what to do with it. I think that information's screwed. It's just my opinion. So that. is that. Who's
Let's see.
that's Ziggy. That's Cleopatra's new friend Ziggy. We got Ziggy from the shelter, so Cleopatra would not be alone when I go to Florida. Okay. I think that's everything we discussed, Lauren and I, before we signed on. Is there anything you think of I'm missing or anything?
I don't think so.
I probably didn't let you talk enough. I know I'm going to get crap for that. You bring in a lawyer and then you don't let her say anything. Would you like to say anything else? You have the floor.
No, I'm good.
She's not that comfortable in front of the camera. I got to drag her. I dragged her out of
Answering
bed.
questions.
Yeah, she likes to answer questions. I said we're gonna do a live. Maybe Josh, me, and Lauren might do a live where we could
That
actually.
will be fun.
Yeah, somehow she won't be afraid of the camera in that way. I don't know.
Well, because then I'm just answering questions on the spot.
Okay. Yeah. I think she is better at that actually. All right. Well, listen, that's everything I wanted to say. Next time we have a trial, I'll be there. I don't know. All right, listen, everybody, get a good night's sleep. Now I have to figure out if I want to post this now or in the morning. Lauren's going to tell me to wait till the morning, but I get antsy, so I'll probably do it now. All right, have a great night. Stay happy and healthy and safe. And suck it, Jeremy. And love you guys. Bye.
Good night.
Oh, say good night, Lauren.
Good night, Lauren.
See, she's getting there.
I'm getting there.